Under the migraine-bright blaze of practice lamps that bleach the hardwood ghost white, the Crypto.com arena feels more like an interrogation chamber than a gym. Every bead of sweat cross-examined, every squeal of sneaker rubber convicting someone of harboring a secret. And buried in that fluorescent crucible, one rumor has detonated like a flashbang. Lebron James, crown polished, narrative sharpened, has been plotting a return to Miami that Hollywood screenwriters couldn't dare storyboard, a sequel. Nobody had the audacity to greenlight. But here's the kicker. He's not strolling into South Beach alone. He's flanked by Bronny, a living comment section argument turned hardwood reality, a father and son manifesto ready to burn itself into NBA folklore. Picture Pat Riley swirling an espresso at midnight, grinning like a chess grandmaster who just realized his queen can fork two rooks at once. Now picture Eric Spoelstra's tactical whiteboard, expanding like a galaxy of possibilities, pick and roll. Variations scribbled so frantically, the marker squeaks like a violin string about to snap. Meanwhile, 3 time zones west, the Lakers' war room is a hurricane bunker of ringing phones and pixelated Zoom leaks. Rob Pelinka's glasses fog as he scrolls through luxury tax spreadsheets hotter than a stovetop. Word is the purple and gold aren't playing from the back foot. They're flipping the script entirely, prying open salary slots, carving room to reel in Lauri Markkanen's 7-foot flamethrower range and Andrew Wiggins' Swiss Army knife. Length all custom fit to weaponize Luka Doncic's gravitational pull like he's a blue-white sun and every cutter in L.A. is a comet. Just visualize Doncic El Matador of step-back slinging, behind-the-back bounce passes to Wiggins slashing. Baseline, while Markkanen arcs moonshots so pure they melt the shot clock. That's not a rebuild. That's a cheat code. And yet, the true puppet masters might be 1,500 miles inland, where the Utah Jazz quietly circle, calculators humming, ready to spin their 2 prize vets into a jackpot of draft picks, rookie scale, contracts, and a new trajectory that could blast them from Wasatch purgatory into a Western Conference renaissance. Think Sam Presti's asset war chest, but sprinkled with Salt Lake defiance. A rebuild that doesn't beg for patience. It demands. Curiosity. Feel that micropause? That inhale the entire NBA just took? Let's zoom in. South Beach. Ocean mist collides with midnight humidity while neon reflections ripple across Biscayne Bay. Jimmy Butler's face flickers on the giant screen outside the Kaseya Center. But if you squint, you can almost superimpose LeBron's time-weathered grin because rumor says the Heat front office already has a jersey mock-up ready. Number 6 stitched in black on red, Bronny's No 9 hanging beside it like a prophecy. Bam Adebayo's been texting cryptic muscle emoji at 3 a.m. And Tyler Herro's IG likes have turned into a breadcrumb trail of Heatles nostalgia posts. This isn't nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. It's a manifestation of South Beaches. Thirst to matter again, to bully the East with swagger instead of scrappy overachieving. You can almost taste that pre-finals buzz in the air, mojitos shaking themselves. Flip coast, Los Angeles. Luka's entourage, currently holed up in a Beverly Hills suite, scrolls worried tweets between bites of sushi that cost more than a G League contract. Pelinka's pacing the hallway, listing scenarios. Rui Hachimura packaged for salary filler. Austin Reeves dangled like the city's newest heartbreak. Markkanen's 23 points per game slotted as Luka's turbocharged safety valve. Wiggins' finals-tested defense bandaging the perimeter hemorrhage that doomed last season. Somewhere in the rafters, statues of Magic and Kareem seem to nudge each other, whispering, "Could be special, kid." But let's not forget the Jazz, the so-called silent partner. They're fielding calls at all hours, stacking unprotected. Picks like poker chips, dreaming about flipping them into the next generational phenom. Danny Ainge, the perennial gambler, is rumored to have spreadsheets that map every draft class to 2031, color-coded by superstar probability. If this 3-team blockbuster lands, Utah could exit the exchange with a Swiss bank's worth of assets. Rozier's bulldog drives to keep fans buzzing. Hachimura's length dripping with upside, and a draft ledger fat enough to buy a second rebuild if the first doesn't stick. Quiet winners. Indeed.now. Stop and feel your pulse. Imagine the chain reaction the minute Shams sends that 5-alarm tweet. Miami erupts, bars spill onto Ocean Drive. Heat jerseys old and new converge in a street carnival of red-hot belief. Lakers Twitter combusts in GIF fireworks, half cheering, half wailing over departing fan favorites. And poor Jazz fans? They'll be refreshing Tankathon like it's a lottery ticket, counting incoming picks while national pundits sneeze out. Clichés about the long game. But here's the razor's edge. This Leviathan hinges on a labyrinth of fine-print Bronny's rookie-scale timing. The Stepien rules draft pick gymnastics, cap apron acrobatics, Luka's looming Supermax extension, Jimmy Butler's rumored contract tweaks, even Wiggins' trade kicker clauses. One decimal out of place, and the entire domino construct topples. Picture agent Rich Paul juggling 3 phones across 2 time zones, clutching a calculator that could buy a small island dot. So ask yourself, what does legacy crave more, stability or spectacle? Does LeBron double dip in the Heat lure to carve chapter? One of a father-son saga that sells more jerseys than Taylor Swift sells vinyl? Does Miami risk its budding core and salary flexibility for the ultimate nostalgia meets now slam dunk? Will Luka trade short-term scorched earth for long-term title windows, trusting L.A.'s bright lights aura to do what Dallas never quite pulled off? And do the Jazz truly win by skipping tomorrow's playoffs for a shot at dominating 2029? Remember how the Big Three announcement at that 2010 Heat rally felt like pro wrestling pyro. Multiply that by father-son storybook vibes and sprinkle the wisdom of LeBron's 20 years deep scar tissue. Or fast forward to Crypto.com's single quotes S potential unveiling of Luka, flanked by a 7-foot sniper and an all-world 2-way wing. Banners of past champions staring down like stern professors. Or visualize Danny Ainge leaning back, smirking, stacking future assets like he's hoarding infinity stones, while the 2027 draft class breaks the ceiling on hype dot. And if you think the shockwaves stop there, remember, Philadelphia lurks, new. York sniffing, Golden State for itching for a splash. One pivot in this 3-team tectonic shuffle and another domino slides, unleashing secondary trades that could bounce Giannis rumors back into reality or push Phoenix to gut its bench. For one more star. NBA parity, dream on. This is high-stakes Jenga, and somebody's bound to pull the wrong block dot, so brace yourself. Hoop heads, whether you're sipping cafecito on Kale Acho, stuck in 405 traffic muttering about load management, or bundled up in Salt Lake plotting draft boards, the next Roy bomb could drop any second. Keep your notifications tattooed to all, because the line between rumor and reality is about to snap. And if you're not locked in when it does, you'll be the one catching up to highlight reels while the rest of us ride this roller coaster. In real time, eyes wide, hearts rattling. The king is restless, the prince is ascending, the Lakers are scheming, and the Jazz are quietly laughing to the bank. Something biblical is brewing, don't blink. And just when you swear the maelstrom can't swirl any faster, fresh intel slices through the noise like a dagger through silk. Luka's camp has leaked that he's intrigued by the thought of taking that velvet rope Los Angeles stage Hollywood. Limelight, global branding, and a franchise willing to reconfigure its DNA around his genius. That one-word intrigue hits the Lakers facility like a defibrillator jolt. Scouts sprint from film rooms. Analytics staff cross-checking synergy numbers that pair Luka's heliocentric wizardry with Markkanen's gravity and Wiggins' 2-way torque. Meanwhile, Darvin Ham paces the baseline, already scribbling sets. Built on Spanish actions morphing into 21 pistol, because if this trade nukes the status quo, it'll need an entire playbook rewritten before camp even opens. Zoom out to Miami, where Riley's war council is burning the midnight pastel. Sources say the Godfather has cleared an entire whiteboard just for rotation permutations that slide. LeBron's bruising drive and kick into a motion offense built around Bam's elbow handoffs and Bronny's sneaky relocation threes. Imagine it. LeBron trotting up the floor, calling horns flare, Hero ghost screening, Defenders swimming in misdirection before Adebayo detonates a dribble handoff lob that rattles the back iron. Heat culture, supercharged. But beneath the celebratory fog machines of a potential Heatles encore, one chilling question lingers: how many miles remain in LeBron's odometer? And does the payoff of a father-son curtain call outweigh the bill that age always comes? To collect? Back in Salt Lake, Danny Ainge hasn't slept in days. He's flipping protected pick permutations the way card sharps riffle aces, calculating how Rozier's score for a spark and Hachimura's malleable length might audition alongside Keontae George and Walker Kessler. If the youth band gels, Utah jumps 2 years ahead in its timeline. If it sputters, they'll lean on that mountain of draft capital, because in the arms race Western Conference, flexibility is the one currency inflation can't touch. Hearing that, rival execs double-check their own war chests, terrified the Jazz might become the next OK Kid quiet, clunky, then suddenly loaded with blue-chip prospects. No one can afford to ignore Dot, yet the real powder keg hides beneath the CBA as anesthesia-dry paragraphs. A poison pill escalator in Bronny's rookie contract that multiplies if he lands on a tax-strangler contender. Miami's front office knows it. It prays they can circumvent it with a last-minute pick swap. Utah's fine either way, because they're the ones receiving that swap. Insiders whisper that one wrong decimal on a trade call, one misfiled PDF to the league office, and the entire megadeal detonates in a scattershot of dead money and cold call apologies. That's why agents are sleeping with ring lights on, ready for emergency zooms at 4 a.m. Why Roy and Shams keep backup chargers in their pockets like surgeons on call. Why social media interns at every franchise hover over the publish button. Post-drafted, graphics rendered, captions pre-approved, all waiting for the final go. Think it can't get wilder? Word just slipped that a ring-chasing vet someone with final scars, low-maintenance ego, and a corner three as pure as sunrise has quietly inquired about his no-trade list, hoping to hitch a ride on whichever side of this Tri-City thunderstorm looks most title-bound. If his salary threads the cap needle, he could swing momentum like a wrecking ball. One league source muttered, he's the glue nobody's factoring in, the guy who turns good rosters lethal. And right on cue, social feeds ignite with cryptic eye emojis from players who definitely know more than they're letting on. Inside the Lakers training facility, AD launches free throws under dim lights, sweat dripping in silent plinks. He can't help but wonder whether he's the defensive backbone of a Lauri Markkanen renaissance or an aging star stalled in a system tilting away from his post dominance. In Miami, Bam scrolls those same rumors, jaw clenched, picturing dribble handoffs. With LeBron, then catches himself, because nothing's real until ink hits paper. And in Salt Lake, a high-altitude wind rattles the arena banners as rookie guards hoist late-night threes, blissfully unaware their minutes could double or vanish, depending on a fax machine's hum dot. So where does that leave us? Perched on the brink of either a league-altering supernova or another mirage evaporating under the July sun. Does LeBron dare rewrite Twilight Year narratives in the same building where he first forged villain-era greatness? Does Luka gamble that glitz? And extra spacing will deliver what Dallas politics never did. Do the Jazz marry patience and boldness into a masterclass on modern rebuilding? And can any front office involve sleep soundly knowing one stubborn owner, one reluctant role player, one last-minute MRI could vaporize months of cloak and dagger negotiation? The tension's no longer electric, it's atomic. Every sigh from an equipment manager becomes Reddit gospel. Each anonymous quote from a league exec spawns 9 think pieces and 23 aggregated headlines. And somewhere in the middle of this swirling rumor storm sits the game itself, 5 players. One ball, 48 minutes waiting to be shattered and reshaped by forces off the court dot. So here we stand, clutching our phones so hard our knuckles blanch, refreshing timelines until thumbs ache, hunting for that red alert banner that will either confirm history in the making or send us spiraling back into routine. The first domino teeters, The room holds its breath. In the quiet before impact, I'll ask you this. When the dust settles, which jersey will you buy? Which highlight will you replay? And which remember where you were moment will etch itself into your fandom forever? Because when this giant finally tips, there's no crawling back to the old NBA landscape. And if you blink even once, you'll miss the exact second the league's axis shifts. Eyes wide, nation, the quake is coming. Picture this Lauri Markkanen stepping onto the Hollywood hardwood, his jumper smoother than silk but wilder than a storm, carving out space for Luka's magician passes, while Andrew Wiggins morphs into that iron-winged defender every contender prays to find, locking down wing threats with the commitment of a siege engine locking in on its target. The whispers inside the Lakers locker room? They're not just about cap compliance or minutes distribution. They're raw nerves, a clutch of locker room trust possibly splintering under the pressure of this gamble. AD, who bled purple and gold for a shot at glory, now faces the abyss of getting sidelined or forced into a dwindling role where chemistry is a powder. Kegs spark away from vaporizing trust entirely. And LeBron? If he flips back to the Heat, ostensibly the prodigal son reclaiming Miami's throne to spearhead a Heatles 2.0 renaissance, the shadows of Showtime and the bubble banner might haunt more than Comfort Legacy suddenly feels like a fragile trophy upended by this seismic shuffle. But here's where it gets darker. Heavier Denver's lurking. The Nuggets watching every tremor from afar, ready to pounce on the Lakers' chaos like wolves sensing prey weakness, and Phoenix's swaggering Suns? Chris Paul's leadership morphs into a plutonium core, threatening to swallow Lakers' hopes whole amid the wreckage. While the Clippers recalibrate, ready to turn the volume and violence up a notch, and Warriors, crafty as ever, weave through. Salary cap cracks like shadows, waiting for Lakers stumbles to loot the aftermath. You can taste the electric tension in purple and gold veins. Every dribble echo a heartbeat, every news flash a thunderclap. Now imagine Markkanen's silky stroke ripping apart defenses that have suffocated Luka's reign. Wiggins' defensive versatility shutting down the West's gnarliest perimeter threats. But what if their chemistry fractures under pressure? Luka's brilliance eclipsed by discord. Meanwhile, Miami's locker room pulses with a fever pitch. Bam Adebayo's relentless defense amplified by LeBron's starfire. Harrow's streaky shooting transformed into a weapon of hurricane force. But what if LeBron's return fractures carefully cultivated Heatles harmony, turning camaraderie into conflict? Utah Jazz quietly shedding Markkanen's salary, stacking Rozier's scoring savvy and Hachimura's stretch potential like a gambler stocking chips, are suddenly the dark horses in this chess game. But what if their newfound assets underperform, and the Jazz remain stuck in rebuild limbo, trading instant impact for hollow dreams? Hold up, there's one clause in that trade nobody foresaw, a silent clause nestled deep in the salary matching. Legalese like a dagger hidden in velvet, it demands a pick swap that could eviscerate the Lakers' future flexibility, forcing decisions that unravel their long-term cap dreams just to chase a now-or-never ring. That's the kind of poison apple that could shatter the fragile, desperate coalition holding this deal together. And while fans grip their remotes and Twitter nails, the Lakers' hardwood whispers grow louder inside the gym. The visceral thud of medicine ball drills sounds like war drums. Sweat beads fall from Brow's furrowed brow, every eye tracing the tension thickening in the locker room air like fog before a storm. This isn't a season. It's a war for survival and relevance, with Olympia's ghost of Shaq Kobe charging. From the ether, SOS calls from the bubble banner still audible in the corners, and the unforgiving West Gauntlet looming like a hungry beast, ready to tear our hopes limb from limb. Can a rebuilt Luka-led Lakers squad survive this maelstrom? Will LeBron's potential Miami encore be a triumphant return or a final fading echo? In a D-prime or past his peak, does he seize the iron will to lead anew, or fracture under the weight of redefinition?